Beloved child, before you decide to walk away, pause for a moment. This moment is not an accident, nor is it a meaningless coincidence among millions of moments in your life. I myself have arranged this very second to meet you not through repeated human words, but through the breath of the Spirit reaching for your soul. Do not take lightly what you are reading. These are not words born out of fleeting emotion, but a message spoken by the one who wove the threads of your soul before the world was formed. I have known you before you were in your mother's womb. Every first cell of your being, every early heartbeat I touched, I named, I called. Before you ever spoke a word, I understood the sighs that rose from the deepest places of your heart. And today, in the midst of life's chaos, I am still here, gentle yet unwavering, calling you back to the sacred things your soul has forgotten. You think you stopped here by accident, but no, my child. There is no such thing as coincidence when my hand holds the compass of your destiny. You are in the right place at the right time because I chose this moment to reach you. Every appointment in life may fail, but the appointment between you and me has never been late. Today, I do not come to frighten you, but to rekindle the flame that once burned brightly in your heart. That flame is still there, though, covered by the ashes of disappointment and misdirection. You have lived among the noise of the world where every voice promises peace, yet none can keep their word. You have grown weary from trying to carve meaning out of things that do not last. I have watched you try to fill the emptiness with work, relationships, achievements, yet they crumble in your hands. I do not blame you, because only when you realize every other source runs dry will you understand that there is one source that never empties me. The longing in you is not a sign of weakness, but an invitation from eternity. It is the echo of your soul remembering where it belongs. For you were not created merely to survive each day, but to live in communion with the one who made you. Miche 7:8 says, "Though I fall, I will rise. Though I sit in darkness, the Lord will be my light." My child, that light is not far away. It stands right at the door of your heart, patiently waiting to be invited in. You have heard me many times through emotions you cannot name, through tears that fall without reason, through a silence so deep it makes you tremble without knowing why. That was me calling you, but you often brushed it aside thinking it was just passing emotion. You were mistaken. It is the call that never stops, the call that longs to bring your soul back to true peace. I know there were moments when you doubted whether I am real. You asked, if you exist, why is there pain? Why are my prayers still unanswered? But my child, you do not know that in those silent spaces I have been working. When you thought I was silent, I was rewriting your story with invisible ink. Ink you will only understand when you look back and see its wisdom. Do not confuse silence with absence. My silence is not abandonment. It is the sacred space where your faith grows, like a seed buried in the soil, without light, without visibility. Yet life is stirring with power. You think I am far, but I am closer than ever. I stand beside you in the dark night, hearing your breath, waiting for you to call my name. You have bowed under burdens for so long that you forgot there is one whose arms are still extended to carry you. You were never meant to hold everything alone. I have never placed on your shoulders anything beyond your strength. You have simply carried what I never asked you to. I did not create you to wander alone through this desert. I created you to walk with me in the garden of peace. In the beginning, I walked with Adam in the cool of the day. I still desire to walk with you now. But you run from me as if I were the source of fear. My child, I did not come to condemn, I came to redeem. I did not come to extinguish, but to ignite. I did not come to take joy away, but to give you joy that is real. You have heard many lies telling you that I am distant, strict, and harsh, but the truth is I am gentler than anything you have imagined. I wept when you wept. I stood silent when you were disappointed, and I kept loving you even when you turned away. Beloved child, let me tell you a sacred mystery. Every time you think you are falling there, is an unseen hand holding you. Every time you believe everything is lost, I am writing the next chapter with mercy. No pain is ever wasted if it leads you back to me. No tear is meaningless if it softens your soul to hear my call. Everything you have gone through has not been in vain. I have used it all to lead you into a deeper place where you do not simply know about me, but truly know me. That difference is the very beginning of new life. When you finally recognize that I am not merely a concept in a book, but the one walking inside your story, everything changes. Darkness no longer terrifies you, because you know there is light within it. I know you still doubt. You think you have made too many mistakes, that perhaps I am weary of watching you stumble again and again in the same place. But my child, my love is not fragile like human love. It does not dry up when you are weak, nor fade when you fail. It endures because endurance is part of my very nature. This love does not require you to be perfect to be accepted. It accepts you first, so that you may be made perfect. You say you are ashamed, but I say you are redeemed. You say you have no value, but I call you my treasure. You say you have lost everything, but I declare that you still have me and I am enough. Do not believe the lie that it is too late to return. With me it is never too late. I can resurrect what has died, rebuild what has fallen apart, and revive a soul that has grown dry. All I need is the smallest opening of your heart, and I will enter and make all things new. So now be still. Let your breath settle into my presence. Feel the current of peace flowing through every hidden place in your heart. I am here not through visions or dreams, but through the reality of my spirit. You do not need to force emotion. Simply be still and know that I am God. When you quiet yourself, I will speak. When you open your heart, I will move. When you stop running, I will carry you. Let me become the first thought that greets you in the morning and the last surrender you offer before sleep. Then you will see emptiness give way to joy, fear, dissolve in the light, and your heart renewed day by day. For I am the one who never abandons those who seek me with all their heart. Beloved child, have you ever wondered why your heart keeps longing for something you cannot name? You search, grasp, acquire, but a hollow place remains untouched. This is not weakness. It is the echo of eternity sounding within you. I placed in you a holy longing, a memory of the light you once belonged to. The world can give you laughter but not joy. It can offer you moments but not wholeness. For you were not created to be satisfied by temporary things, but to live in lasting communion with me, the love that never changes. You have wandered many roads believing that reaching this or achieving that would bring peace. But the farther you run, the thirstier your soul becomes. What you seek is not ahead of you, but within you, where I wait. You say you cannot hear me, that the heavens are silent, that your prayers go unanswered. But look closely, child, I have been answering. You wait for thunder, yet I come in a gentle breeze. I do not announce myself with lightning or spectacle. I speak through the beating of your heart, the birds singing at dawn, the sudden stirring of tears you cannot explain. I am the one who still speaks, even when the world is silent. You are used to listening with your ears, so when there is no sound, you assume I am not speaking. Learn instead to listen with your soul. That is where my voice is clearest. I once spoke to Elijah in a cave, not through the wind, nor the earthquake, nor the fire, but in a whisper. And today I am whispering to you, not to frighten you, but to draw you closer. The noise of the world has crowded out the space where I long to speak. You ask to hear my voice, yet your mind is filled with other voices of worry, comparison, hurry, and doubt. I do not compete with these noises. I wait until you are willing to be silent. Only in silence can you hear what is true. Only when the heart stops resisting can I pour myself in. Do not fear silence. Do not avoid loneliness. In those very moments when you think you have been forgotten, I am coming closer than ever. Loneliness is not a punishment. It is an invitation. An invitation to return to the very place where you and I first met, where there was no audience, no performance, only me and you. You have asked why I love you so deeply when you have nothing to offer in return. Because my love is not based on what you do, but on who you are. You are my breath, my reflection in the world. When I look at you, I do not see your failures. I see your potential. I do not see your brokenness. I see the seed of glory waiting to bloom. You see yourself as ordinary, but I see the light I planted within you. You are the work of my hands, not the flawed product of fate. While you lower your worth, I call you valuable. While you feel inadequate, I call you chosen. You think you are only a drop of water, yet I see an ocean inside you. Do not diminish yourself because of temporary mistakes. I do not see you through the lens of your past, but through the promise of my love. There were days when you fell in silence, and I bent down, placed my hand on your shoulder, yet you did not notice. You called it luck when someone came to help, but it was I who sent them. You called it coincidence when a door opened, but I was the one holding the key. Every moment of your life I have been there, whether you recognized me or not. No step you take is hidden from me. No tear falls without being recorded. No whispered cry escapes my hearing. You think you have been forgotten, but your name is engraved on the palm of my hand, and even if the whole world turns its back on you, my gaze remains on you, unbroken, unwavering. Let me tell you the truth the enemy fears. You will hear you were not destined for shame. You were not born to carry guilt forever. You were created for freedom, freedom from fear, from accusation, from the memories you thought you could never escape. You were called to walk in the light, to live in the joy I prepared for you. But this comes only when you dare to let go. Letting go is not losing, it is trusting. When you release what you cannot control, you can finally grasp my hand. When you stop relying on your own strength, you will see the power of grace. When you stop striving, I can lead you forward. There are many who say they trust me only when life is easy. But I am inviting you to trust me in the thorns. True faith is not the soaring feeling on a sunny day, but steadfastness in the midnight storm. In the storm, you discover who is in the boat with you. And when the waves crash against you, remember I am there sleeping, not out of indifference, but because I am not afraid. When you awaken me with your prayer, I will speak to the wind. Be still, and the storm will cease. Do not doubt simply because I have not acted according to your timeline. I am never late. I am arranging everything in a way more perfect than you can imagine. Let faith replace fear. Let trust drive out every doubt. When you fix your eyes on me, you will see your worries dissolve like mist under the morning sunday. You will understand that no power on earth or under heaven can separate you from my love. Though you pass through waters, I will be with you. Though you walk through fire, it will not consume you. You may stumble, but you will not be destroyed. You may be weak, but my strength will be made perfect in that very weakness. My child, remember this. I do not ask you to be strong in order to come to me. It is when you come to me in weakness that I make you strong. I call you not to add more burdens, but to lift them off of you. You have carried far too many things that were never meant for your shoulders. Expectations, fears, the words of others. They have pressed heavily upon your soul. Lay them down at my feet. Do not try to prove your worth. You already have worth. Do not strive to earn love. You are already loved. Do not try to make yourself worthy. You have already been redeemed by my blood. Rest in this truth. Let your heart become still like quiet waters when the wind ceases. In that silence you will hear my voice saying, "You belong to me." And when your soul recognizes this, every fear will fade away. I did not come to expose you before the world, but to heal you in love. I do not want you to live pretending or striving, but to live true before me and before yourself. For only in truth can you be free. Do not hide any longer. Do not run from me like Adam who hid behind the fig leaves. I still call out, "Where are you?" And today I ask not because I do not know where you are, but because I want you to know that I am still seeking you. My child, I have never left you. From the days of your childhood I have been beside you. When you cried in the dark, I was the gentle warmth covering you. When you stumbled in your youth, I was the hand lifting you up, even though you did not yet know gratitude. When you walked among success, I was still there quietly reminding you that no glory is real if it lacks me. And when you failed, when everything collapsed, I drew closer than ever. You thought I appeared only in sacred moments, but in truth I have always been present in every rhythm of your life. I am in your breath, in your gaze, in your laughter, and even in your tears. There is no place you can go where I am not already there. If you ascend to the heavens, I am there. If you descend to the depths, my hand still reaches you. My love is not bound by time, space, or circumstance. It is eternal and unchanging. Pause for a moment and look around. How many times have I spoken to you, yet you did not recognize my voice? How many times have I sent messages through another person, a song, a breeze, or a sudden tear, and you dismissed them as coincidence? There is no coincidence in my kingdom. Everything you see, hear, and feel is a thread in the great tapestry I am weaving for your life. You may not understand the whole picture, but trust that I am still weaving. Even the dark threads are not mistakes, but the backdrop against which the light will shine more brilliantly at the appointed time. Do not be frightened by the night. Darkness is simply the proof that dawn is near. Just as a seed must be buried before it can sprout, you too are being hidden in my hands as I prepare you for new life. Do not rush out of my process. Every trial carries a purpose, and every waiting holds a promise. You say you are weak, yet in your weakness I see strength. For only when you realize you can do nothing without me, do you truly begin to live in my power. True strength does not spring from self-confidence, but from the surrender of the soul. When you bow low, grace lifts you high. When you confess your insufficiency, that is when I begin to do great things. You are used to thinking that victory means standing firm, but in my kingdom, victory begins with surrender. When you stop fighting to maintain control, you will discover that I have been fighting for you all along. I do not ask you to prove your worth, only to trust me. For faith is not striving, it is letting go, resting in the certainty that my hand still holds you. The world will tell you that you need more wealth, more status, more achievements to be considered valuable. But I speak differently. Your worth does not come from what you possess, but from the one who created you. No one can add to or take away from that. When you were in your mother's womb, I breathed life into your soul and called your name in the realm of light. Every scar, every flaw, every wound, I have seen them all, and still I chose you. Do not let the cruel words of others define you. They cannot see what I see. They look at the outward, but I look deep within. You are not the sum of your mistakes, but the testimony of mercy. I gave you the breath of life so you could bear my light in a darkened world. Do not hide that light. Do not think it is too small. Even the smallest light can drive away the deepest night. I know you fear. Fear loving again, fear trusting, fear being wounded. But do not let fear rule your soul. My perfect love casts out all fear. Let me teach you to love without defenses, to trust without suspicion, to live without masks. The world teaches you to harden your heart, but I teach you to soften it. A heart that can cry is a heart that can love. Remember this, your tears do not diminish your worth, they make you more human. They water the seeds of humility, and humility is the soil where grace overflows. When you allow me to touch your pain, I not only heal it, I transform it into a message. Your wound will become the place where my glory is revealed. I will use what once brought you to your knees to lift others up. I will turn shame into testimony, sorrow into song, ashes into crowns. All I ask is that you place it in my hands. Remember, nothing is wasted when it is given to me. Every experience, even the painful ones, carries eternal meaning. Just as Joseph said, "You meant evil against me, but God intended it for good." Genesis 5:20, so will I do for you. What the enemy intended to destroy you, I will turn into instruments of restoration. You think I am present only in temples and sanctuaries, but no, my child. I am in every corner of your life. In the small room where you cried, I was there. On the long bench where you waited, I was there. On the weary bus ride in the middle of the night, I was there. There is no place beyond the reach of my grace. Do not believe that you must go far to find me. The moment you whisper my name, I am near. A quiet prayer, a lifted glance, a single breath. These are enough. You do not need elaborate rituals, only a sincere heart. For I do not seek performance, I seek the heart. When you come to me with honesty, I come to you with fullness. Do you know what brings me the greatest joy? Not long prayers or perfect rituals, but when you truly believe that I love you. For when you believe this, you stop running. You stop striving to be accepted, and you begin to live in the freedom of the beloved. That love will change everything: how you see, how you think, how you live. It will free you from the need for human approval, because you know you are already approved by me. It will free you from the fear of loss, because you know you belong to the one who never leaves. It will free you from the fear of death, because you know you live in the one who gives eternal life. You belong to me. No one can snatch you out of my hand. Though the world may change, my word stands firm. No matter how many times you fall, I will still come searching for you. Even when your heart shuts its doors, I will keep knocking. Even when you wander far away, I will still call your name. For I am not only the God of the distant heavens, I am the Father who draws near. I do not reign from afar upon a lofty throne. I sit beside you in the sleepless nights. My child, do not let your heart grow hard. Do not let weariness make you doubt what you once knew to be true. I am still here speaking to you through the very breath I gave you. Now I invite you to step into a new journey, the journey of returning. Not a return to religion, but to relationship. Not to carry more rules, but to find freedom. Not to strive to please me, but to learn how to rest in me. Come back, my child. Let me wipe away the ashes and clothe you in new garments. Let me sing over you the song of forgiveness. Let me restore the song you lost, the smile you forgot, the faith you dropped along the way. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. This moment is the time. Come, my child, I am still waiting. My beloved, as your soul begins to open to the light, I want you to know there is an unseen battle waging around you. It is not a battle of swords and shields, but a spiritual one where light and darkness contend for your heart. Every thought, every choice, every action becomes a battlefield. But do not be afraid, for I have overcome the world. Light does not bargain with darkness, it drives it out. And when my light shines into the deepest parts of you, darkness cannot remain. I do not condemn you for every misstep, but I cannot leave you there either. Because I love you, I must draw you out. Darkness is not only sin, it is forgetting me. The moment your eyes turn away from me, even briefly, your spirit begins to cool. Then fear slips in, doubt rises, and peace fades. But remember this, no night lasts forever. If you open even the smallest crack, my light will flood in. Darkness cannot resist even one true ray of light. That is why I do not ask you to be perfect before coming back. I only ask that you come, like the prodigal son in the parable. While still far away, his father ran to embrace him. So will I run to you, not with a whip, but with open arms. You may think that my light will expose your shame, but no, my child, light does not come to humiliate you. It comes to heal you. Darkness is the soil where sin breeds, but light is where mercy blooms. When you allow me to touch what you've hidden, it loses its power over you. The world teaches you to conceal, but I teach you to confess, for truth sets you free. You cannot be healed while pretending to be whole. Let me remove the weary mask you've worn for so long. Let me shine into the roots, the birthplace of your fears, insecurities, and unspoken wounds. I have not come to condemn you. I have come to heal and restore. I have heard your whispered prayers in the long nights. I know the exhaustion that makes you wish you could disappear, but I say to you, rise. Even if you believe you lie among ashes, I still see the seed of life within you. Just one breath of mine, and it will live again. You think it's over, but I am the one who begins again. From the ruins I can build something new. From silence I can compose a song. From tears I can bring forth joy. You see only brokenness, but I see opportunity for glory. You see failure. I see the foundation for a miracle. Do not fear my light. Let it illuminate even the corners you've avoided. It is in the deepest darkness that my light shines brightest. My child, there is something you must understand. Darkness does not vanish because you hate it. It vanishes when you let in the light. Likewise, sin is not erased by your striving, but by allowing my grace to work within you. Grace does not only forgive, it transforms. It not only cleanses the past, but empowers the present. Grace is the strength that enables you to rise after falling to love, after being wounded to believe, when there is no evidence left. That grace does not come from your effort, but from my heart. When I died upon the cross, every drop of blood was not only to wash away sin, but to restore the connection that had been broken between you and me. I am not distant. I do not hide behind the veil of rituals. I am right here in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the morning light filtering through the curtains. I am the source of life, and nothing in you can truly live apart from me. When you pull away from me, you begin to wither, not because I punish you, but because you disconnect from life itself. I tell you this not to frighten you, but to remind you that you were created to dwell in me. Without me, you will grow weary. Without me, every success becomes an empty echo. But in me, even the smallest thing becomes great, because it carries the breath of eternity. There are things I am preparing for you, things no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no heart has imagined. But to receive them, you must dare to step out of the shadows. You cannot carry new light while clinging to old habits. Let go of what holds you back, relationships that drain your soul desires, that blur the truth fears that keep you from believing. Do not mourn what you release. You lose nothing when you let go of what hinders you. You gain more. I never take without giving something better. Everything you surrender for my sake, I will return with blessings far greater. Believe this, for I am faithful. When you walk in the light, you no longer need to pretend. You will learn to forgive, to speak truth, to love without calculation. Light does not promise an easy life, but it promises that you will never walk alone. It will guide each step, perhaps only one step at a time, but always enough to keep moving forward. And one day when you look back, you will see I was never gone. Every trial was only a vessel through which my light could shine brighter within you. Then you will know that you have been renewed, not by effort, but by my presence in every breath you take. My child, when the light begins to enter, you will see that you are not only illuminated, you are being healed. For my light does not stop at revealing. It reaches into every hidden fracture of your soul to restore. I do not come to expose you and then leave you. I come to touch the very places you have kept buried, those places you believed were ruined, the memories you feared to revisit. These are exactly where I begin the work of rebirth. Like a patient potter shaping clay, I am forming you anew, not by force but by love. When I work, I do not rush, for what is restored by love will endure. You have grown accustomed to seeing your cracks as proof of failure, but I see them as windows for light to enter. I do not cover your past with a fresh coat of paint. I breathe life into it. For I do not want you merely to survive. I want you to live fully. When you look back, you will see in the very places where you were broken, I planted seeds of grace. In the places of loss, I poured out my kindness. Where you stumbled, I rebuilt you with steadier feet. My child, what you thought was an ending has become in me the beginning of something good. Remember my word, behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:15. From ruins I create beauty. From what you cannot understand I shape wisdom. From nights of tears I weave dawns of hope. I never allow your pain to be meaningless. You once asked, why did that happen to me? And today I answer, because I am preparing you for a greater purpose. I do not send storms to drown you, but to cleanse you. I do not allow loss to make you poor, but to reveal to you what truly has value. For only when your hands are empty can I place eternity in them. Restoration does not come in noise, but in stillness. It does not come through haste, but through patience. Sometimes you will see nothing changing, but that does not mean I am not at work. Seeds remain hidden in the soil long before they break the ground. Do not judge my work by speed. Trust its depth. I am planting within you something that will bloom in its season, not early, not late. I do not want only to heal you. I want to make you a vessel of healing for others. You will walk among broken souls, and the very wounds that once caused you pain will become lamps guiding them home. Do not rush to erase the marks of your past. Scars do not diminish you. They testify that you were saved. Do not be ashamed of what I delivered you from. Tell that story, for through it I will be glorified. There are hearts that will awaken when they hear your testimony, a story of mercy greater than sin, of grace, stronger than shame. The world will tell you to forget, but I say remember and give thanks. Remember so you never forget I was there. My child, restoration is not returning to what was, it is becoming new. Like a broken tree that grows again, it does not grow in the old direction, but toward the light. In the same way, I am bending your heart toward my light. You will no longer live by the reflex of fear, but by the rhythm of faith. You will no longer define yourself by failures, but by redemption. You will no longer flee from your past, but walk in the present with gratitude. And with every step you take, the world will see my light reflected in you. Let me teach you how to breathe again. Breath is more than air. It is the rhythm of the soul. When you inhale in faith and exhale in peace, you allow my spirit to flow through you. Let every worry and weariness dissolve with each breath. Do not rush, do not fear. Each breath is proof that I am still here. Every heartbeat reminds you that grace is still moving. You are not forgotten, not abandoned, not delayed. You are being led gently but surely out of darkness and into the light of restoration. You may not see the whole path yet, but trust this. My light does not shine miles ahead. It shines enough for the next step. If I showed you everything, you would be overwhelmed and stop walking. So, I illuminate just enough for you to learn trust. With every step you take, the light will follow. You cannot walk the entire journey in a day, but you can be faithful with today's step. Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's grace will meet you there. Let my peace rule in your heart. Do not search for it in the world, for it is not found there. True peace does not come from the absence of trouble, but from knowing who holds all things. When you realize that I am still in control, even when storms rise, your heart will rest. Just as Jesus spoke to the storm, "Peace, be still," so I speak to your soul today. Be still. Do not let your mind run after fear. Rest in my arms. Restoration is a journey, not a moment. It requires you to believe each day that I am still working, even when you cannot see it. And as you remain steadfast, you will discover this truth. The things that once terrified you have become testimonies of my strength. You will look back and smile, for you will understand that everything carries meaning. You will know that my hand never left your life, not even once. My child, stand firm, for what I have begun in you, I myself will bring to completion. No power can hinder my work. Tell that story, for through it I will be glorified. There are hearts that will awaken when they hear your testimony, a story of mercy greater than sin, of grace stronger than shame. The world will tell you to forget, but I say remember and give thanks. Remember so you never forget I was there. My child, restoration is not returning to what was, it is becoming new. Like a broken tree that grows again, it does not grow in the old direction, but toward the light. My beloved, I invite you to walk not in the old way, but in the rhythm of new life. Light is not merely something you receive, it is something you carry. Every step in the light is a declaration that you no longer belong to the darkness. You are no longer driven by fear or sin, but led by love and truth. My child, you cannot stand near the light and then return to the shadows. You are called to be the light. As I have said, you are the light of the world. Matthew 5:1-4. When you carry this light, darkness must retreat. You do not need to shine for the whole world. Simply be faithful where you stand, and the light will spread like a lamp glowing through the night. My child, walking in the light does not mean you will never stumble. It means you know how to rise again. Light not only guides, it warms. It softens your heart, helping you discern what to hold on to and what to release. When my light dwells in you, it trains your ear to hear truth amid many counterfeit voices. The world offers illusions that shimmer like light but fade like embers. Do not let your eyes be deceived by brilliance that does not last. Let your heart determine your gaze. For only the light born of my spirit endures. The light born of the flesh quickly dies. Choose the lasting light, quiet, steady, humble, yet strong enough to sustain life within you. When you live in the light, everything around you will begin to change. Words once shaped by hurt will soften. Reactions once fueled by old wounds will be replaced with wisdom. The pain that once dictated your choices will no longer rule your heart, not because you have forgotten, but because you have been renewed. When my light fills you, you will see others through the eyes of grace, not judgment. You will forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you have been forgiven. You will love not because people are always lovable, but because love is the nature of the one who lives in you. And each time you choose love over bitterness, peace over retaliation, you take another step in the light. Light has no place for pretending. It calls you to look honestly at yourself without hiding, without polishing the surface. But do not fear. I do not love the mask you create. I love you imperfect but sincere. Truth may sting, but it liberates. When you dare to live truthfully, you allow my light to spread through you, and peace will return to your soul. Darkness cannot dwell where truth is revealed. So do not fear the light that exposes what needs healing. Fear a life in which you never discover what needs to change. My light not only reveals you, it leads you. It does not promise an easy path, but it promises my presence. When you walk through barren places, my light will be the lamp at your feet. When you journey through valleys of shadow, that light will become a pillar of fire surrounding you. When you feel lost, it will become a guiding star. You will never walk alone. You are not abandoned in the night. I walk with you as I walked with my people in the wilderness. Cloud by day, fire by night. I am the one who never sleeps, never forgets, never departs. Hold on to this light by staying close to me. Do not let it fade through neglect. Do not let weariness create distance between us. Each day draw near to the source of light so the flame within you will not go out. This light is sustained not by effort but by communion. When you abide in my word, the light grows stronger. When you pray, the light brightens. When you give thanks, the light stretches outward. Let every day be a journey alongside the light. Do not come to me only when you need help. Come because you long for me. For true love does not draw near out of necessity but out of devotion. The world is dimming. False lights are fading. Hearts are growing cold. But in such a time, I desire your light to blaze. You were created for this hour to shine in a generation wandering in confusion to love, where hatred reigns to bring peace, where chaos rises to speak truth, where lies multiply. Do not say you are too small. Even a tiny lamp brightens an entire room when it burns. Let your light shine even in a small corner, and that place will become a place where I dwell. I do not call you to perfection, but to steadfastness. Light cannot burn without oil. That oil is prayer, gratitude, unwavering faith. Guard your lamp from the winds of discouragement, from the dust of sin, from the fog of doubt. Keep it pure, so that when I come, I will find it still burning. As the 5 wise virgins carried extra oil, so must you be prepared. Do not let my return catch you unready. Do not only listen live, do not only be moved, respond. Light is not meant to be trapped in a candle, it is meant to be set on a stand to shine for all in the house. Live as one who has been set free, speak as one who knows grace, love as one who is loved without condition. When you live like this, your life becomes living evidence of my love on the earth. Every small action becomes a beam of light. Every word saturated with love becomes a reflection of heaven. And when you grow tired, when your light seems dim, do not fear. Return to the source, and I will breathe new life into you. Do not try to burn by your own strength. Let me shine through you. My child, you were created not only to behold the light, but to become the light. Live so that those who look at you will remember me. Walk forward even one small step, but let it be a step in the light. And one day when you turn back, you will see every road, every tear, every fall, every rising. All of it was covered in my light. Child, that light is not a reward. It is the inheritance of those who belong to me. When you walk in the light, you are living in the very purpose you were created for. For I am the light, and you are a child of the light. Go, my child, walk in the world without becoming part of it. Shine without becoming proud, love without fearing wounds. Walk forward and let that light, my light, shine through every word, every action, every breath. For when my light shines through you, the world will know that I live, that I dwell among them, and that I still love my child. It is time for you to awaken. Awaken from the long sleep of the soul, from the habits that make you forget me, from the false peace of this world, a thin blanket that only covers a deep emptiness. You have remained too long in the gray zone where light is not bright enough and darkness is not fully dark, and your soul drifts between the two, wanting to believe yet afraid to believe, longing for me yet running from me. But I tell you now, this is the moment to choose. There is no more room for hesitation, no more time for indecision. For the trumpet of eternity is sounding, and only the awakened will hear it. Many imagine that awakening arrives with thunder or strange visions, but in truth it begins with something small the moment your soul becomes quiet enough to hear. In that silence I speak. Not in the language of men, but with the light of my spirit. You feel it like a passing breeze, like a sudden pounding of the heart, like an unexpected tear. That is when I touch you, calling you home. You may refuse the invitation, but you cannot extinguish it. For I have placed in you a spark the world cannot smother. No matter how much dust tries to bury it, it burns, waiting for the day it flares to life. Awakening is not gaining more knowledge. It is knowing me, not with the mind, but with the soul. Many speak about me, but few truly know me. They debate doctrines, argue about truth, yet never hear my voice in the stillness. I do not call you to memorize, I call you to meet me. When you awaken, your eyes open not only to the world, but to your place in my purpose. You will realize that everything in your life, the losses, the encounters, the unexpected turns, was held in my hand. Nothing was meaningless, no moment wasted. Everything that once brought you tears is now being woven into a garment of wisdom. Awakening is not gentle, for it pulls you out of the comfort of sleep. It forces you to look at yourself and face the parts you once avoided. But do not fear. I do not call you out to break you. I call you out to make you real. You cannot step into a new day while clinging to old dreams. Likewise, you cannot step into the light while holding darkness in your heart. Let me awaken you through truth, through love, even through the trembling you do not yet understand. For only when your soul is awake can you truly live, not merely exist. You have slept in things that were pleasant but empty, schedules full, yet without purpose, achievements bright, yet without life. You have learned to be so busy that you have no room left for the sacred. I do not blame you. I only ask you to pause so I may speak. You have listened to the world too long. Now listen to me. Let my spirit awaken the soul that has been lulled to sleep by comfort. Do not fear when I shake you with disruptions. Sometimes I must make the ground tremble to show you that you were standing in the wrong place. Sometimes I let your plans collapse so you remember that the only firm foundation is me. Awakening is learning to see anew. When your soul wakes, you will see what you once overlooked. You will realize that the most precious thing is not what you hold, but the one who holds you. You will understand that true peace does not come from avoiding storms, but from knowing who rules over the waves. When you awaken, you will cease fearing the future, cease regretting the past, for you will know I am God of both. I am in your present, and the present is where I wait for you. Each morning you must choose to open your eyes, not only your physical eyes, but the eyes of your spirit. Each day you must choose to listen not only with your ears, but with the ears of your soul. The world will try to lull you back to sleep with sweet promises, quick successes, and seemingly reasonable distractions. But my child, do not fall asleep again, for if the soul sleeps, darkness returns. If you stop awakening, you will lose the light. Awaken not only for yourself, but for those around you. Someone is searching for light through the way you live. They do not need a sermon, they need a witness. They need to see in you a real heart, a compassionate gaze, a faith that does not crumble in storms. When you live awakened, you become an unspoken invitation. Others will look at you and sense me, even if they do not yet know my name. For awakened light is not loud. It is gentle as dawn, yet once it appears, the night must retreat. I am calling you out of spiritual paralysis. Do not be content with merely hearing the word. Live in it. Do not merely read prayers. Become a living prayer. Do not merely say you believe. Let that belief become breath, action, and love. For when you are awakened, you will know that every moment is an opportunity for me to work through you. You will no longer live for yourself, but for me, and that is true freedom. This call is not meant for tomorrow. It is meant for now. For no one knows if tomorrow will come, but today, this very moment, grace is still here. Respond. Say, Lord, here I am. And when you speak those words, all of heaven rejoices. For a soul has awakened, a new light has been kindled, and darkness is pushed back one more step. My beloved, when your soul begins to awaken, you will realize that true transformation does not begin on the outside, but on the inside, in the quietest place within you, where I have planted the seed of life. The world teaches you to fix what is visible, but I begin with what is unseen. I do not patch broken pieces. I create something new. The transformation I bring is not a moral costume you put on, but a new heart, a heart that knows how to love, to listen, to tremble at truth. My child, I do not need you to become a better version of yourself by human standards. I want you to return to your truest essence, the you who was born in light, untainted by fear or calculation. Everything familiar will begin to shift. You will no longer feel satisfied with fleeting joys. You will sense the emptiness of things you once thought were enough. Shallow conversations will drain you, but quiet moments in my presence will make you feel alive. You will begin to crave what is real words, real love, real relationships. And even though the real may sometimes wound you, you will never again be able to live comfortably in what is fake. For once a soul has tasted the light, it cannot return to darkness. Awakening always comes with cleansing. I will gently but firmly remove from you what no longer belongs to you. It may be a habit, a relationship, a thought pattern, or a fear that has taken root for years. You will feel the loss, but do not grieve, for you are not losing. You are being freed. Just as a tree must shed old leaves before new buds can form, so your soul must release the old to prepare for new life. I will never take anything from you unless it no longer serves your journey. Trust me, everything I remove only clears the path for something better. Do not be surprised when some people no longer understand you. When the light within you grows, those who choose to remain in darkness may feel unsettled. They may misunderstand, distance themselves, or even oppose you. But do not let your heart harden. Light always reveals differences. Do not fear being set apart, for I have not called you to blend in, but to be set apart. Awakening has a cost, and you must be willing to pay it. But remember, you do not walk alone. Whenever you feel isolated, remember that I walk beside you, and I have paid a far greater price so that you might be free. I will teach you to hear your own voice again, the voice that has been buried beneath layers of noise. It is not loud, not forceful, but true. It is the voice that rises from the depths where my spirit whispers. Learn to listen. Quiet your heart so you can hear me. You will discover that the answers you have searched for are not far away. They are within, where my light dwells. When you learn to listen, you will no longer be swept away by the anxieties of the world. You will discern which voice is mine and which are the lies of the enemy. Do not look for transformation through outward miracles, for the greatest miracle is happening inside you. Every time you choose forgiveness over resentment, that is a miracle. Every time you choose peace over fear, that is a miracle. Every time you believe even when nothing seems to support that belief, that is a miracle. I am working these miracles daily, quietly but powerfully. Do not think you have not changed just because you cannot yet see clear results. Be patient, for true transformation never happens in noise. It is like dawn, slow, gentle, but unstoppable. One day you will realize you are no longer who you used to be. Let this awakening become a lamp for every decision you make. When you speak, let your words be seasoned with love. When you act, let your actions reflect grace. When difficulties arise, remember that trials do not come to destroy you, but to strengthen your faith. Do not ask why I allow storms. Ask what I want to teach you through them. For no trial is pointless when you walk with me. Every wound becomes a testimony, every tear a seed of joy. My child, I know the journey of awakening is not easy. It will wear you down at times. There will be moments when you want to slip back into old sleep, where everything felt simple, where belief wasn't required, where you didn't have to face yourself. But do not fall asleep again. Darkness always tries to lull the soul back into forgetfulness because it fears your light. Do not let weariness steal the awakening I have stirred within you. When you feel weak, call me. When you feel lost, look to me. When you feel you have nothing left to hold on to, cling to my word, for my word is the lamp to your feet. When your soul awakens, you will begin to understand purpose. I did not save you merely so you could be safe. I saved you so you could carry light. Your purpose is not found in comfort, but in calling. I have chosen you for a work that only you can do, for no one has your fingerprints, no one has your journey, no one has the heart I shaped within you. Live fully for that purpose. Do not let days pass without letting the light within you shine. Awaken, my child, for the world desperately needs what you carry. My child, true transformation does not pull you away from who you are. It brings you back to your deepest identity in me. It does not turn you into someone else. It restores you into the original design I crafted with my hands. When you live in that truth, clarity will fill your days. You will no longer strive to prove yourself, for your very presence will testify of who you belong to. You will no longer fear, for you will know you are protected. You will no longer wander in confusion, for you will know I am guiding your steps. Each morning, as you rise, say, Lord, open the eyes of my heart so I may see you, and I will do it. I will open your eyes to see the miracles unfolding around you. Open your ears to hear the cries of other souls. Open your heart to love without limits. And then you will know you are truly awake, not only to behold me, but to live in me. My beloved child, what I desire from you is not only awareness, but response. For awakening without action is a lamp without oil. It flickers briefly and dies. You were awakened not to remain still, but to move. The light you received is not meant to be hidden, but to illuminate others. True awakening always leads to action, for a soul that has encountered me cannot continue living as it did before. It loses its appetite for small ambitions, for now it knows it has been called to something greater, to the glory of my kingdom. Those I used were never perfect, but they obeyed. Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going. Moses entered Pharaoh's courts trembling, unable to speak smoothly. David was forgotten among the sheep before being anointed king. I do not look for the strong, I look for the willing. You do not need to know everything. You need only know that I am calling. When I say go, you need only take the first step. For once you step forward, I will show you things you never dared to dream. You fear failure, fear mockery, fear loneliness, but remember, I never call you and then abandon you. When I send you, I will go with you. You think you are not enough, but I do not require enough. I require real. In your lack, I will be fullness. In your weakness, I will reveal my power. When you open your mouth, I will place words upon your tongue. When you extend your hand, I will fill it with strength. When you walk, I will open the way. Trust that every obedient step unlocks a miracle. Your mission is not far away. It begins exactly where you are standing. Do not wait for a stage. I do not need spotlights to move. Begin by living with love, patience, and faithfulness in the smallest things. Forgive the one who hurt you. That is a mission. Hold the hand of someone in despair. That is a mission. Speak a word of encouragement where discouragement reigns. That is a mission. My child, every small act done in love carries the weight of heaven. You cannot measure its impact. A single word of yours might save a soul from ending their life. A simple embrace might convince someone they are still loved. A quiet prayer might open a miracle for a person who has never known me. Do not think I only use the well-known. I choose the small to confound the great. I choose the weak to shame the strong. I choose the overlooked to display my glory. And you, yes, you who are reading these words are exactly the one I have chosen. Not because you stand out, but because you are willing. Not because you know the way, but because you are willing to be led. A mission does not require expertise, only a heart. And you have that heart, for if you didn't, you would not be here listening to me this long. I know you fear that if you step out, you may be wounded. But understand this, true love always bears wounds. You cannot love without being touched, and you cannot follow me without carrying the marks of sacrifice. But wounds for the sake of love will not destroy you. They will make you like me. The more you love, the more you resemble the one who loved you first. I did not call you to an easy path, but I promise you will never walk it alone. When you are weary, I will lift you. When you cry, I will wipe your tears. When you fall, I will raise you up. And when your journey ends, I will welcome you into arms that have been open since the beginning. Do not let the world extinguish the fire I kindled in you. When your soul awakens, the enemy will try to make you doubt. He will whisper, "It's not real, it's not enough, it's not worth it." But do not believe him. Fix your eyes on me, not on your limitations. Remember, I am the author and the finisher. Your weakness does not deter me. Your fear does not change my calling. Go, my child, for you do not walk in your own strength, but in my power. And as you walk in your mission, I will make you an instrument of life. Through your mouth I will speak. Through your hands I will touch. Through your eyes others will glimpse hope. Every step you take pushes darkness back. Every word you speak plants a seed. You do not know which seeds will grow, but sow them anyway, for I have already prepared the soil. Do not worry about the harvest. That is my work. You need only be faithful in sowing, and I will bring the harvest in its time. Know this, every mission is sustained by worship. When you kneel in prayer, strength is given. When you give thanks in adversity, heaven opens over you. When you remain faithful in the small things, I entrust you with greater things. Child, I care less about where you stand, and more about with whom you stand. If you stand with me, you will never fail. My child, awakening is not the end. It is the beginning of an eternal journey. You will walk, you will stumble, you will rise, you will learn, you will love, you will cry, you will rejoice, and through it all you will see me in every moment. For your mission is not about achieving something, but about becoming the person you were created to be. When you live in that truth, you are fulfilling my work. And one day when you look back, you will see that everything I declare to you today has become reality. You have awakened, you have been transformed, and you have been sent, not merely as one rescued, but as one chosen to carry light into this world. Do not hesitate, do not fear, do not doubt. The time is now. The morning has broken and my voice still calls. Rise, carry the lamp I have placed in your hands, and go toward the souls that need light. Do not say, I am not ready, for the very moment you say, Yes, Lord, I make you ready. Go, my child, and as you go, the world will know that the light still shines, and that I, the one who called you, still live, still love, and still work through you. My beloved, when the light has been kindled in your heart, I must warn you of something that has caused many awakened souls to fall the danger of falling asleep again. For the enemy does not fear those who were awake, only those who stay awake. When you begin to awaken, darkness does not retreat forever. It simply changes its strategy. It becomes subtle. It does not roar, it whispers. It does not terrify, it soothes. It says, just a little rest, just one day without prayer. And slowly the light begins to dim, not because you betrayed me, but because you grew dull. My child, beware of this numbness, for it is more dangerous than any storm. Storms make you cry out to me. False peace makes you forget me. Once you have tasted the light, darkness can no longer deceive you with crude temptation, so it uses busyness. It knows you love good things, so it tempts you to be busy doing good, until you no longer have time for the one who is good. It leads you to serve without praying, to help others, while ignoring your own soul. It knows you hate sin, so it does not tempt you with sin, but with tiny compromises, whispers that sound reasonable, but kill the soul slowly. It says, you're tired, God understands, you're busy, pray tomorrow. You're fine, no need to be so zealous. And then your heart cools, your breath of prayer grows faint, your hunger for me fades. My child, do not let this happen. Do not allow the flame I lit to flicker under the winds of forgetfulness. Spiritual sleep does not arrive suddenly. It creeps in through prolonged comfort. When trials disappear, when life feels calm, you become vulnerable, and it is then that the soul falls asleep most easily. I have seen many begin with fire and end in ash. They did not deny me in a day, but through thousands of tiny concessions. Every time you delay intimacy with me, your soul takes one more step into the fog of forgetfulness. My child, stay awake. Do not let indifference become the companion of your spirit. You may smile, serve, function, yet inside the flame is dying, and when the flame dies, darkness returns. I do not tell you this to frighten you, but to protect you. For I know that an awakened soul is a treasure of heaven, and the enemy does not give up easily. He will not try to steal you by force, but by comfort. He will invite you back to the safe zone where there is no stretching, no trusting, no responsibility for the light you carry. But that safety is the trap. No flame thrives in a place without wind. Faith grows only when tested. If you seek peace without seeking my presence, you will lose both. Guard your heart above all else, for from it flows every stream of life. Let my word be the fence around your mind, giving the enemy no foothold. Fix your eyes on me no matter how loudly the world calls. Pour oil into your lamp every day through prayer, so the flame within you does not fade. When you pray, I hear. When you cry, I respond. When you worship, I come near. And when you stay awake, I rejoice. Not every silence is peace, and not every movement is life. Some souls are silent because they are asleep. Others are busy because they are running from me. Ask the Holy Spirit to distinguish the true from the false, so you are not deceived by appearances. When everything seems calm, ask, Lord, are you still here with me? When life becomes busy, pause and listen. Awakening is not measured by speed, but by awareness. I do not ask you to do more, I ask you to be more present. There is a kind of weariness more dangerous than exhaustion, the weariness of the spirit. When you pray and feel nothing, when you read my word and receive no revelation, that is not the time to quit, but the time to persevere most. Trust that I am still working, even when you cannot feel me. True faith is not built on emotion, but on the unchanging truth that I am God. When you cannot see me, I still see you. When you cannot hear me, I am still speaking. When you feel like you are withering, I am deepening your roots. Do not let your feelings lie to you about my faithfulness. Do not wait until the flame is gone. A whisper of prayer is enough. A single call of my name is enough. The light will return. I never grow weary of waiting for you. I never tire of awakening you. No matter how long you have slept, when you awaken, I am here. My love does not shrink because of distance nor fade with time. I am the one who waits, who stands at the door, who knocks gently day after day until you open. Remember, awakening is a gift, but keeping it is your responsibility. I lit your soul, but only you can keep the flame alive. Live awake, pray awake, love awake, serve awake. Do not let your soul sink into religious routine without the breath of my spirit. I do not seek rituals. I seek a living heart. If you love me, you will guard the light. If you guard the light, you will not fear the night. And if you do not fear the night, you will awaken other souls. My beloved, when you awaken, do not assume the journey will become easier. In truth, it is then that the invisible battle intensifies. For the light within you is the very thing darkness hates. The closer you draw to me, the more pressure you will feel, but do not fear. Pressure does not come to crush you, it comes to anchor you deeper in me. Storms do not come to extinguish the lamp, they come to test whether the flame is genuine or merely borrowed. If you stand firm in me, every trial will become proof that your light is real and that my power in you is real. The battle you face is not fought in the world outside, but in the mind. Their thoughts become arrows, and words become weapons. The enemy does not need to strike you down with a sword. It only needs to plant one wrong idea. It knows that if it can make you believe a lie, you will do the rest yourself. It whispers, "You're not good enough. You've failed too many times. You no longer have any worth." And when you believe those words, the light within you begins to fade. But my child, know this, none of those accusations come from me. In me there is no condemnation, only an invitation to return. When I speak, my words do not frighten you, they draw you closer. When I correct, I do not shame you, I strengthen you. Learn to discern my voice from the voice of darkness, for it is in this very place that the battle is won or lost. The enemy always strikes at your weakest places. It will not attack where you are strong, but where you are vulnerable. It will use what you once craved, once feared, once loved in the wrong way. It creates nothing new. It merely reopens old wounds. It knows that an unhealed wound becomes an open door for darkness to enter. But do not fear, my child, for I am the one who heals. When I touch a wound, it no longer remains a weakness. It becomes the beginning place of strength. In the very place where you were once broken, I will raise you up. In the very place where you once felt shame, I will honor you. Give me those fragile corners of your heart, for only in my hands can they be forged into instruments of victory. Remember, this victory does not come from striving, but from surrender. Spiritual battles are not won by trying harder, but by leaning deeper into faith. When you pray, you are fighting. When you forgive, you are breaking chains. When you choose faith over fear, you are defeating the enemy. The world thinks strength is loud, but I tell you, true strength is the quiet trust that stands still. When you rest in me, you terrify hell itself. For the enemy does not know what to do with a soul that remains at peace in the middle of a storm. In every trial, there is an invitation. Temptation is not only a trap, it is an opportunity to prove your faithfulness. When you face temptation, do not feel ashamed. Temptation does not mean your faith is weak. It gives you the chance to choose the light. Do not run from temptation. Face it in me. When you are weak, say, Lord, I need you. When you are afraid, say, stay close to me. When you fall, do not hide. Lift your eyes. Grace is not for those who have never fallen. It is for those who rise again. And I promise you this, if you remain faithful in the trial, I will turn it into triumph, and the place where you once fell will become an altar of thanksgiving. My child, never think that the small battles are meaningless. Every time you choose truth over lies, patience over anger, love over judgment, you are winning. These quiet victories are what shake the heavens. Heaven rejoices not only over great feats, but over the hidden triumphs of your heart. When you restrain a harsh word, when you pray for someone who hurt you, when you believe I am good even in painful circumstances, that is when you are truly conquering. The enemy wants you tired. It knows that weary hearts are more likely to compromise. It does not always threaten. Sometimes it simply drains your sense of meaning. But do not allow weariness to steal your fire. When you are tired, rest in me, not away from me. When you are weak, let me carry you. You do not need to be strong, you only need to remain faithful. Every warrior grows weary, but only those who stay connected to their source of strength endure to the end. My beloved child, I have given you spiritual weapons. Do not let them gather dust. My word is your sword. Read it and declare it daily. Faith is your shield. Raise it when doubt attacks. Prayer is your breath. Do not let it falter. And love is the strategy no enemy can defeat. When you love, darkness loses. When you love, my power flows. When you love, you reflect me most. Therefore, do not let anger or hurt steal love from you. Love even when it is not returned, for that is how I have loved you. Do not forget that your victory is not measured by avoiding all suffering, but by refusing to let suffering pull you away from me. Even when you walk through fire, remember that I am in the fire with you. Just as I was with the 3 friends of Daniel, in the furnace I will be with you. The flames may burn, but they cannot consume a soul that belongs to me. When you pass through it, you will see that your hair is not singed, your clothes not scorched, and only the chains that once bound you will be burned away. Trials do not destroy you, they burn away what was holding you back. When the world calls you weak, remember that I call you a warrior. When the enemy says you are defeated, remember that I have already won. When people leave you, remember that I am still here. Every battle has an ending, and victory belongs to me. Hold on to the light, even if it flickers like a dying ember, for I will breathe into it the fire of renewal. Do not fear the night, for my light in you is stronger than the darkness around you. Fight not with fists, but with faithfulness. Endure not to prove yourself, but to love until the end. My child, when you have walked through storms, when you have fought battles unseen, when your tears have mingled with your prayers and your faith remains, then your soul has already overcome. Victory is not when you stand on the mountaintop, but when you still believe in the valley. Not when you escape the thunderstorm, but when you find peace in its roar. My child, in the moments you think you have nothing left, that is when your soul shines brightest. For true light emerges only after it has passed through the night. The peace that comes after the storm is not the temporary calm the world gives. It is a peace that surpasses understanding. It does not depend on circumstances, but on the truth that I am present in all things. This peace does not come from control, but from surrender. When you release, you do not lose. You are set free. When you stop trying to understand everything, you begin to trust. And when you trust, I begin to move. You will see wounds that once caused deep pain become windows where light pours in. You will see losses that once crushed you become the soil where new life grows. For I have never allowed a single tear of yours to be wasted. When the soul truly wins, it does not boast, but becomes humble. It does not shout, "I did it," but gently whispers, "He did it to me." Only those who have been weak truly know where strength comes from. Only those who have fallen fully appreciate what it means to be lifted up. Only those who have trembled understand the value of real peace. The victory I give does not make you stand above others, it makes you bend lower, softer, more attentive, more compassionate. For you will realize that everyone is fighting an invisible battle of their own. And in this way you will become a refuge for weary hearts, a bearer of peace, not merely a speaker of it. Your victory does not arrive in a single day. It is woven from countless quiet moments. Every time you chose to stand when giving up was easier, every time you prayed when you felt nothing, every time you chose love even after being wounded. Every small yes you give is a golden thread in the tapestry of glory I am weaving. Up close, all you may see is tangled knots. But when I am finished, you will behold a masterpiece. Child, after every battle, I do not only give you victory, I give you a new heart, softer, deeper, and wiser. You will find that you no longer react the way you used to, no longer fear what once terrified you, and no longer seek validation from others, because now you know who is the one who gives true worth. You will find yourself calm before things that once made you panic, content with what once frustrated you, and grateful even when there is no clear reason. These are the signs of a healed soul. These are the fruits of grace. My beloved child, grace is the resting place of a victorious soul. When you fall, grace lifts you up. When you make mistakes, grace restores you. When you cannot go on, grace walks in your place. No soul can keep its light without grace, therefore never stray from it. Let grace become your breath. Let it flow through you into others. Forgiveness, though not easy, is the way grace spreads. When you forgive, you set yourself free. When you bless those who hurt you, you break the chains of darkness wrapped around your heart. And that is true victory when love rises above wounds. When the storm is past, step outside and breathe deeply. You will feel the air is different, clearer, lighter, full of life. So it is with your soul. After walking through fire, you are no longer the same. Everything within you has been refined. What was false has been burned away, leaving only what is true. Do not fear the fire, for I use it to make you shine. Like gold refined, you are becoming purer. When you look back, you will not resent the storm, but give thanks, for it brought you closer to me than ever before. Now you understand, Peace is not the absence of battles, but my presence in the midst of them. Peace is not the absence of wind, but the knowledge that even the wind serves my purpose. Peace is not the silence of thunder, but the assurance that thunder cannot drown out my voice. When you understand this, you will walk lightly, not because you are weak, but because you trust. You trust that everything unfolding is held in the loving hands of your Father. A victorious soul no longer seeks glory for itself. It wants only my name to be exalted. It does not crave praise, it desires to be used. It does not compare nor compete, for it has found the better portion, my presence. And when you live in that presence, you will realize that peace is not a destination but a posture of the soul. Do not let victory make you proud, for pride is the door that lulls the soul back to sleep. Remember that every victory you have is because of me. Without me, you could not have stood this far. Give glory to the one who walked with you through the night. And use your story to lift others up, for your scars can become a map that leads someone else to hope. I am pleased with you not because you are perfect, but because you keep going. Not because you are strong, but because you have not given up. I see your tears, I hear your prayers, and I know your fears, but I also see the light still burning within you. My child, rest now. The storm has passed. The light has returned, and the peace I give will remain with you forever. After the storm of trial and the long nights of wrestling, now is the time for me to do what I have promised, restore you. I do not merely want you to rise after the breaking. I want to build you stronger, deeper, and more alive than ever before. For I am not the one who merely patches the torn. I am the one who creates something entirely new from ashes. As I spoke through the prophet Isaiah, I will give you a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. Isaiah 6:1-3. My child, this is what I am doing, even now, replacing loss with abundance, turning what has withered into a testimony of my glory. My child, I know your heart has cracks. There are things you dare not say to anyone, things you believed were dead. But nothing placed in my hands remains dead. If I could call Lazarus out of the tomb after 4 days, what would be too difficult for me? If I could cause dry bones to rise again in Ezekiel's valley, why would I not revive your soul? Believe, my child, that the pieces you thought were lost are being touched by me. None of your fragments are discarded. Each is being used to craft something new, more beautiful, more enduring, more sacred than before. Beloved child, restoration is not returning to what was, but returning to what I originally intended. You once lived under the names the world gave you: weak, failed, inadequate, unworthy. But I am rewriting your story with my own hand. I am pulling out every lie that has rooted itself in your mind and replacing it with truth. You are loved, you are chosen, you are anointed for purpose. When I rebuild you, I do not only change your form, I change your name, just as I changed Abram to Abraham, Jacob to Israel, Simon to Peter. Every time I restore, I give a new name, for your very nature has been transformed. The process of restoration is not always gentle. At times it is like me tearing down an old wall to lay a new foundation. You may feel pain, but it is the pain of healing, not destruction. I am pulling out bitter roots that have grown deep fears, that have crept in unnoticed, and memories you thought you had forgotten, but that still quietly influence you. My child, let me uproot them completely. If I only touch the surface, the wound will return, but if you allow me to go deep, I will heal the place where it first began, the place where you were wounded, where someone's words made you believe you were unworthy of love. I know you are afraid, for restoration requires facing what was avoided, but you are not alone on this journey. I am with you in every step, in every breath, in every old memory that resurfaces. When you tremble, I hold you. When you are weak, I lift you. When you cry, I wipe your tears. Not a single tear is forgotten. Each one is kept in my bottle, just as the psalm says, "You have recorded my tears. Are they not written in your book?" Psalm 5, 6, 8. My child, nothing is wasted in the journey of healing. The restoration I am doing is not only in your soul, but in every area of your life. I will restore relationships that were broken, not by returning them to their former shape, but by rebuilding them with forgiveness and deeper understanding. I will restore dreams you once abandoned, but this time with wisdom, so they do not become idols. I will restore the faith you once lost, the faith that I am still working, even when you cannot see. My child, what was lost in tears will be harvested in joy. As I restore you, you will realize that the very things you once resented were the things I used to shape you. Pain taught you compassion, loss taught you the value of love, and waiting taught you to honor my timing. Every crack within you has become a channel through which my light shines. I do not hide my light in perfect vessels, but in those who have been broken and made whole again. Only those who have been fractured understand what it means to be held together by my hands. When I rebuild, everything changes. But what is new will be more beautiful. You will no longer run from your wounds, but see them as evidence of grace. You will no longer fear dark days, because you know I am working in the dark, just as seeds sprout unseen beneath the soil. You will see that what I bring forth after the storm is always stronger, deeper, and more enduring. For I do not merely restore what was lost, I increase what is good. Restoration is a journey, not a moment. Every day I am touching a part of you, a part you forgot, closed off, or hid away. Every day I am calling those parts back. Restoration is not returning to what was, but returning to who you truly are in me. And when you live from that truth, nothing in your past can stop the future I have prepared for you. I call you to believe in the power of new beginnings. Do not fear small starts, for all great things begin in silence. A small seed must be buried before it rises. You may feel buried now, but do not forget, you are not buried to die, but to grow. Everything I do has a season. Be patient in the preparation, for I am laying a foundation for something greater. Do not try to restore yourself by your own strength. Let me do it, for I am the one who recreates. When I formed the universe, I simply spoke, and all things came to be. I do not need material. I only need a heart that opens. If you give me your heart, I will build from there, not with flashy miracles, but with lasting transformation within. And when the work of restoration is complete, you will not merely be one who survived the storm, you will be one who carries the evidence of a miracle. I have never forgotten what you lost. I know every stolen moment, every crushed dream, every shaken faith. But I am gathering them now, not to return them as they were, but to give you double. For I am the God of recompense. I do not repay with equal value, I repay with grace. And when I am finished, you will see what I rebuilt is not the you of yesterday, but a new creation, stronger, brighter, wholly mine. My child, restoration does not begin with changes on the outside, but deep within the heart, where old wounds still bleed. Though you try to hide them, where your trust once shattered like cracked glass, I know there are places in your soul you are afraid to touch, because remembering feels like trembling. You fear recalling, you fear opening, you fear feeling. But my child, it is there I am waiting, for my light can only shine in the places you allow it to reach. Spiritual restoration cannot happen in the shadows of avoidance. You must let me in, not only as Redeemer, but as healer. Let me tell you this, your faith is not dead. It is only buried under the ashes of pain, covered by the dust of disappointment, hidden beneath the fear that I have been silent too long. But I am still here. A small ember still burns within you, even if you no longer feel its warmth. And my child, if you can breathe out even the simplest prayer, Lord, I am so tired, that is already faith. Faith is not the loud shout of strength, but the faint breath that still turns toward me. In those very breaths, I work miracles. When I restore your soul, the first thing I touch is not your hands or your words, but your heart, the heart that once believed wrongly, loved wrongly, and broke under betrayal. I will not rush to cover the wound with comforting phrases. I will go deeper to the place where the cut first formed. I will show you what truly hurt you, not the person, not the circumstance, but the misplaced trust. You let others define your worth, people who have no understanding of the value of your soul. You allowed the voices of the world to grow louder than the voice of the one who formed you. And that, my child, is what exhausted you. You must learn again how to trust me. Trust not only when everything is going well, but trust even when you see no results. Trust that I am good even when you are in pain. Trust that I am working even when everything is silent. Trust that my promises are never empty, even when you have not yet seen their fulfillment. True faith does not require evidence, for its evidence is me. When you have no strength left to believe in anything else, simply believe in me. That is enough. Many people ask for miracles, but the greatest miracle is a healed heart. For when the heart is healed, the way you see everything will change. You will no longer fear being hurt because you know you are loved. You will no longer struggle to prove yourself because you know you are accepted. You will no longer need others to understand you because you know I do. Healing does not make you forget. It allows you to look back without pain. The old wound is still there, but it no longer bleeds. It becomes a mark of victory. On the journey of restoration, there will be days when you feel as if you are moving backward. You may think, I have prayed, I have believed, so why do I still feel empty? But my child, understand that true healing does not happen overnight. It is a process I am working out in silence. Just as a plant grows in the soil, you cannot see it grow, but its roots are digging deep, so it is with your faith. Every time you keep praying, even when you see nothing, your faith is being strengthened. Every time you choose gratitude instead of complaint, your faith is being renewed. And every time you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to bitterness, you are clearing the way for miracles to unfold. My child, remember that a healed heart becomes a source of healing for others. I do not allow you to walk through pain in vain. Every tear you have shed will water another soul longing for hope. Every scar you carry will become a testimony of my kindness. When you share your story, others will awaken. When you say, I was broken, but God rebuilt me, darkness will tremble. For nothing is more powerful than a soul once imprisoned who now stands free. Do not forget that I am the one who turns ashes into glory. I will use the very places where you once fell apart to build an altar of praise. I will turn the places of your deepest pain into places where life springs forth. And you will be amazed to see that the very things that once crushed you have become the foundation of the strength you now carry. You will see that no detour was meaningless, no tear was wasted. Every part is used in my hands to shape you into my image, gentler, wiser, and overflowing with compassion. When I restore the heart, I do not merely return joy, I give you enduring joy, a joy not dependent on circumstances, but rooted in my presence. The world offers joy that fades, but I give joy that does not wither. When you praise me in hardship, when you give thanks through tears, when you choose hope even before the way is clear, you are living in that joy. This is the sign of a healed soul, a soul that can smile even before dawn. Know, my child, that spiritual restoration is not meant to make you what you once were, but to make you new in me. I do not want you to merely survive your wounds. I want you to stand firm in grace. You do not need to forget the past. You only need to let me continue the story. You do not need to force yourself to be strong. You only need to remain in me, and strength will flow from there. Remember, you are not called to strive, you are called to abide. And in that abiding, I will exchange ashes for glory, tears for jewels, and pain for a song. My beloved child, The harvest is coming. The season of tears will not last forever, for I am the God of perfect timing, the one who turns sorrow into blessing, ashes into a sacred harvest. What you once thought was an ending, I call a beginning. What you once saw as loss, I see as a seed planted. For a seed must lie in the soil, buried and forgotten before it can sprout. My child, you have cried many tears in silence, and you have stood firm when no one stood beside you. But I have seen. Every tear has been remembered, and now I will turn them into rain that waters the field you thought had died. I am the God who restores abundantly. When I return what was lost, I do not give back the same, I give the double portion. I do not merely rebuild a house, I build a temple for my presence. I do not simply heal a wound, I cause the very scar to shine as a light for others. My child, what you believed was destroyed. Your trust, your relationships, your dreams, your hope, I will bring them back to life. But they will not return in their old form. They will return in the strength of grace. For I do not rebuild from ashes to send you back to the past, but to lead you into the glorious future I have prepared. Open your eyes and see that I am doing a new thing. Do not search for the old traces. They are gone. Just as winter cannot stop spring, nothing can stop my work of restoration. What was once closed will be opened. What was locked will be released. I am calling what was dead to live again, causing dry ground to bloom, restoring your soul so it may sing a new song. My child, be ready, for the blessing is coming, not just to fill your hands, but to overflow your soul. The sacred harvest is unlike the harvest of the world. It does not come from effort, but from faithfulness. The years you prayed quietly, the nights you chose trust over resentment, the times you sowed good words into dry ground, all of it has been seen by me. You thought those seeds never sprouted, but I caused them to take deep roots beneath the soil. And now, when the appointed time has ripened, I will bring them forth in new life and strength. I have promised those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. My child, that is what is drawing near. Every time you keep praying, even when you see nothing, your faith is being strengthened. Every time you choose gratitude instead of complaint, your faith is being renewed. And every time you choose forgiveness instead of holding on to bitterness, you are clearing the way for miracles to unfold. My child, remember that a healed heart becomes a source of healing for others. I do not allow you to walk through pain in vain. Every tear you have shed will water another soul longing for hope. Widen your heart, for the blessings I give are not just enough. They overflow so you may pour into many others. Everything I give has a purpose. I do not fill a vessel so it can sit still, but so it can pour out. You are healed not only for rest, but to become a channel of healing. You are restored not simply to enjoy peace, but to lead other souls back to the source of life. My child, do not keep grace for yourself. Let it spread. When you share, I will pour more. When you give, I will multiply. For the true treasure of heaven is not measured by how much you keep, but by how much you give in love. Never forget, my blessing is not meant to carry you away from me, but to draw you deeper into knowing me. Some receive blessings and lose their way, for they love the blessing more than the one who gives it. But my child, keep your heart humble. Remember that everything you have comes from grace, not merit. When I bless you, do not only receive, give thanks. When I open a door, do not only step through, carry light with you. When I lead you into a new land, remember that it was I who brought you through the wilderness, so you would know how to treasure it. This sacred harvest will not be like the harvests of the past. This time you will not reap with anxiety, but with peace. You will not gather with fear of losing, but with the confidence that everything I give endures. You will no longer count blessings to boast, but to discern how to use them in service. You will no longer see grace as a reward, but as unity with me. Then blessing will not only be in your hands, it will live in your soul. I will make your life a living testimony of what I can do with a story that seemed beyond hope. I will turn your journey into a lamp that guides others out of the night. You will say, I was broken, but the Lord rebuilt me. I was lost, but He found me. I was empty, but now I am filled with grace. And when you speak these words, all of heaven will rejoice, for the blessing no longer stops with you. It spreads, it breathes, it saves. This is your new season. Stand up, breathe deeply, and walk forward with a grateful heart, for what I do is not only to show you that I can, but to show you that I want to. I do not merely rescue you from the storm, I lead you into green pastures. I do not only erase sin, I bestow glory. I do not only return what was lost, I give what is better. And I do not only rebuild you, I make you a bearer of blessing. Sing a new song, for my work with you is complete. What was once shattered is now whole. Tears have become shining jewels. Dark days now blaze with morning light. And when you look back, you will say, as Joseph once did, you intended to harm me, but God meant it for good. Genesis 5:20. Yes, my child, I have done this for you, not only so you may be blessed, but so you may know I always turn ashes into glory. My beloved one, when the light of restoration has reached even the deepest corners of your soul, I now call you into an entirely new phase, one that is no longer a journey of seeking, but a life of union in me. You have endured the long night of testing, walked through the fire of purification, and felt my breath in your tears and in your hope. And now, when the ashes of your past have become fertile soil, I say to you, abide in me, and I will abide in you. This is no longer an invitation. It is the decree of love, the word of the one who created you and is calling your soul home. The new life in me is not a reward for the perfect, but a gift for the willing. You have searched for meaning on many roads, believing peace depended on conditions, joy on achievement, and worth on how others saw you. But my child, these were shadows of something far deeper, my presence. It is my presence that is the peace you long for, the love you seek, the breath your soul desires each day. New life is not an outward restart, it is an inward rebirth where you cease striving to become someone and begin abiding in the one who formed you. Every breath is an invitation from heaven. You do not need to wait until you are holy enough to come into my presence, for it is my presence that makes you holy. You do not need to cleanse yourself before you arrive, for I am the very water that cleanses you. You do not need to prove your faithfulness, for I have been faithful on your behalf. Come, my child, not with perfection, but with truth. Place what is broken in you into my hands, that I may reshape it into the image of eternal life. I do not call you only out of darkness, I call you into light, a light that never fades, for it does not come from the sun but from myself. When I said, let there be light, it was not only the creation of the universe, it was the recreation of the soul. You are no longer defined by what you have done, but by the one to whom you belong. When you walk in my light, the past loses its power, and the future loses its fear. For in me what has been is redeemed, and what will be rests safely in my hands. You once believed that living for me required strain, effort, and burden. But know, my child, living in me is not a task, it is rest. Just as a branch connected to the vine does not strive to bear fruit but bears fruit naturally through its connection, so it is with you. When you pray, it is not to persuade me, it is to align yourself with my rhythm. When you worship, it is not to make me come, it is to realize I never left. When you believe, it is not to obtain something, it is to recognize that I am that very thing. Stepping into a new life means letting go of the old, not by force but by recognition. By recognizing that nothing is worth holding on to more than me. Let go of fear, for fear exists only where love is absent. Let go of sin, for it loses its power the moment you stand in the light. Let go of the dreams that did not come from me, for they only lead you away from the true source. I do not take away to leave you empty. I take away to make you full. When you let go, you do not fall into nothingness. You fall into my hands. I do not only desire that you believe in me, I desire that you understand me. For true faith is not merely acceptance, it is attachment. You may know me as Redeemer, but I want you to know me as friend, as Father, as breath, as the light within you. You no longer have to search for me in distant things, for I dwell in your heart. I do not abide in elaborate rituals, but in the quiet whisper. When you exhale, Lord, I need you. When you walk, I walk with you. When you speak, I am within your words. When you are silent, I still speak. My presence does not come and go, only your heart opens or closes. Every failure, every tear, every fall, these have all been lessons to show you that I am the center. I allowed you to wander so you would learn how to return. I allowed you to fall so you would learn how to lean on grace. I allowed you to thirst so you would discover that only my water can quench the dryness. Now you understand that every path without me leads to emptiness, and every place with me overflows with meaning. My child, let this recognition become the foundation of your new life. The new life in me is not a life without mistakes. It is a life lived in truth. Truth to nature, shaped in my image, without deceit, without fear, without masks. When you are honest with yourself, you will see my reflection there. When you love others with compassion instead of judgment, you are living by my breath. When you choose forgiveness, you become like me. When you bend down to lift the weak, you are touching heavenly work. My child, that is true glory, the glory of one who knows. They are small yet loved, without condition. I know there are days you still feel weak, still doubt, still stumble, but do not fear. A child learning to walk falls many times, but what makes a father is not the counting of mistakes, but the arms ready to lift. I am never weary of raising you up. I rejoice when I see you try again. I do not count your sins. I count the beats of a heart longing to return, and every time you come back, heaven sings. My child, I am preparing a new season for you, a season where you will no longer be shaped by circumstances, but guided by the Holy Spirit. You will learn to hear my voice in the stillness, in the words of a stranger, in the gentle breeze. You will recognize that my presence is not only in temples, but in the very place where you stand. When you work, I am there. When you rest, I am there. When you love, I smile through your eyes. The new life does not separate you from the world. It brings heaven into the world through you. The new life does not end when you die. It only deepens. For the life you have in me is eternal. You do not vanish, you are swallowed up by light. I do not merely save your soul from hell. I save you from meaninglessness, from living without knowing why you live. When you are in me, you step into eternity today, not someday in a distant heaven, but right now when you allow me to be your breath. Therefore, give me everything, your weakness, your fear, even the desires you have not yet found words for. Let me turn them into light, into meaning, into purpose. Step into the new life, the life of one who is loved, forgiven, renewed, and sent. Do not fear what lies ahead, for I walk with you. Do not fear the darkness, for I am the light. Do not fear loss, for I am the reward. My child, walk on, for my presence does not wait for you only at the end of the road. It is in every step you take. My beloved one, I want to teach you how to walk in my presence every day, not only when your soul grows weary. Many say they believe in me, yet they live as though I am far away. Many pray in the morning but forget me by evening. But my child, the new life I give is not made of brief, sacred moments. It is a continual flow of grace, where every moment becomes an altar, and every breath a prayer. I do not want you to know me only through words. I want you to experience me in the rhythm of your living. You must learn to listen. I do not speak in noise, but in gentle quiet. The world demands your reaction. I invite your stillness. Every time you choose silence before responding, you make room for my voice. Every time you pause to ask, Lord, what is your will, you step deeper into my presence. My voice does not come with thunder, but with the soft breath within. When you sit still and strip away the distractions, you will hear what you once thought I never said. Because the truth is, I have always been speaking, you simply had not yet become still. Many people ask me to move in their lives, yet they do not allow me to guide their steps. They want me to bless them, but they do not want me to correct them. They want me to lead, yet still keep their hands on the wheel. But if you truly desire to walk in my light, you must learn the way of surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is true strength. The strength of one who believes that the one who governs the universe also governs every detail of their life. When you let me lead, you no longer need to fear taking the wrong path, for every path you walk will rest in my will. My presence is not something you must travel far to find. It is something you must learn to recognize. I am there when you work, when you cook, when you care for your children, when you sit in a quiet room, or when you stand in a crowded street. You do not need a different place to meet me. You only need a different perspective. When you do all things with gratitude, I am present. When you forgive instead of resent, I am present. When you help someone even if no one sees, I am present. When you choose what is right over what is easy, I smile. My child, learn to see me in the small things, for whoever is faithful in the small will be entrusted with much. To walk in the light, you must stay away from the gray places, the places where your soul begins to compromise. Light cannot blend with darkness. You cannot walk with me while keeping one foot in sin. Let me shine into every hidden corner within you, so that you may be truly free. Do not fear exposure, for I do not shine to destroy but to heal. I reveal so you may know what to let go of, what to keep, and what must be planted anew. Every time you choose truth over deception, forgiveness over bitterness, peace over self-defense, you open the door for my light to flood your heart. I know you live in a noisy world where every voice demands attention. But if you cannot discern my voice, you will exhaust yourself chasing every echo. Remember, my voice always brings peace, while the enemy's voice always brings confusion. My voice draws you near, the other pushes you away. My voice brings hope, the other sows fear. Do not listen to the voice of darkness, even if it appears reasonable. The enemy once used scripture to test my son, so he can also use what seems good to lead you away from what is right. Therefore, let the Holy Spirit be the referee of your heart. He will show you what is from me and what is not. To hear my voice more clearly, keep your heart humble. Pride deafens the ears of the soul, but humility opens the doors of understanding. When you believe you already know enough, you cease to learn. But when you kneel and confess, Lord, I need you, I will teach you what even the wise of this world cannot grasp. Wisdom from me is not found in knowledge, but in obedience. There are things revealed only to those who are willing to do my will, not to those who merely want to know it. Walking in my presence also means living truthfully with yourself. I do not want you to play the role of a flawless saint. I want you to come to me with everything, your joy and your shame, your light and your shadows. For only when you bring all of yourself can I transform all of you. Do not fear telling me what you have not dared to tell anyone else. I already know, yet I still desire to hear it from your own lips, for what you confess is what I can heal. Do not forget that my presence does not merely surround you, it dwells within you. When you step into darkness, the light in you pushes darkness back. When you speak words of love, it is my voice through yours. When you extend your hands to help, it is my touch reaching the world through you. When you cry with someone who suffers, your tears mix with my compassion. You do not only bear my image, you bear me. So walk with gratitude and reverence. You are the temple of the Eternal One, and every step you take is an act of worship. If you keep this light only for yourself, it will dim. But when you share it, it will shine brighter. Let my presence in you spread like fragrance, not through noise, not through show, but through kindness, truth, and compassion. Every person you meet is a soul I love. Every word you speak can be a seed of hope or a blade of harm. Choose to sow, not to strike. Choose to heal, not to judge. For you are called not to win arguments, but to win in love. The closer you are to me, the brighter you shine. The farther you wander, the dimmer the light becomes. Therefore, do not try to shine, simply stay near the source. Do not try to prove you belong to me, let peace and humility speak for you. The world will know you are mine, not by what you preach, but by how you live. And when they ask, what makes you different, smile and say, I have met him. Remember, life in my presence is not an easy road, but it is the only road that leads to true life. There will be moments when you feel alone, for few choose the narrow path. But do not fear. The loneliest footsteps are often the closest to me. When you walk through darkness and still trust, that is true faith. When you cannot see and still love, that is true love. And when you remain faithful even when no one is watching, that is true worship. So walk on slowly, humbly, steadily in my presence. Do not strive to reach some destination. Simply abide in me, for where I am, there is your home. When you rise, whisper, Lord, I am here. When you work, remember, you are with me. When you sleep, let your heart say, you are still near. And you will see there is no moment in the day when I am absent from you. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step is saturated with my presence. My beloved child, after every path you have walked through the night of doubt, into the dawn of faith, through the fires of testing, into the gentle rain of restoration, it is now time for your soul to enter what I destined for you from the beginning, eternal union in me. This is not a reward for the perfect. It is the inheritance of those who return. From the moment I breathed life into your nostrils, I planted within you the seed of heaven, a deep memory of home, so that no matter how far you wandered, the call to return would echo within your soul. My child, that call is clearer now than ever. Come abide in me. Do not fear that union with me will erase you. It will make you whole. Just as a drop of water falling into the ocean does not disappear, but discovers its true nature and vastness, you will find your truest self when you are enveloped by my presence. For so long you have lived among fragments, between what you desire and what you need, between what you believe and what you fear, between the world's voice and mine. But in me, every fragment is gathered into wholeness. You will no longer need masks to protect yourself or walls to defend your heart. You will breathe freely, for my love is your perfect safety. There is no competition, no striving, no fear of being forgotten, only one deep truth. You belong to me and I belong to you. Eternal union is not merely a reality of the final day. It begins now when you allow my will to shape your will, when my heartbeat begins to guide your heartbeat. When you say yes in small things, heaven opens. When you forgive, in the midst of pain, heaven descends. When you kneel in an empty room and whisper my name, heaven fills that space. Eternity is not measured in years, my child. Eternity is the quality of my presence. Every moment spent in me holds the weight of the infinite. Every choice to love touches the edges of the everlasting. Every sincere prayer weaves another golden thread into the tapestry of glory I am crafting from your life. There are days you ask why I allow storms, why I remain silent when you cry out, why the path I lead you on has so many bends. A day will come when every mystery is unveiled. But even now know this, everything I do is love. I do not send storms to extinguish you, but to refine you into a pure vessel. I do not remain silent to abandon you, but to open your ears to my whisper. I do not lead you on winding roads for amusement, but because the straight path often lacks shade. I see the cliffs where you see plain ground. I know the snares you do not yet perceive. And if I halt your steps, it is to save you from what you do not believe exists. When you stand in eternal light, you will see that no moment was wasted, no tear was pointless, no prayer vanished into the void. All of it was preserved in my heart. Union is also the end of distance. Distance between you and me, between you and others, between you and your own soul. In me, hostility turns into reconciliation, separation, into reunion, suspicion, into understanding. You will learn to see others through the eyes of compassion, just as I have seen you. You will see that those who wound you are themselves wounded. And when you extend your hand instead of closing your heart, both wounds begin to heal. You will learn to see yourself not through the judgments of your past or the conclusions of your failures, but through the verdict of love, you are mine. Then you will cease striving to prove your worth. You will simply rest in the identity I have named over you. Eternal union is not achieved through knowledge, but through obedient love. Knowledge asks why. Love says yes. Knowledge demands explanation. Love trusts. Knowledge inflates the ego. Love softens the heart. I do not forbid you from seeking understanding. I only desire that you place understanding beneath love like a lamp beneath a shelter, radiant, but not blinding. When love leads you, you will no longer stumble over what you do not yet understand, because the beloved walks on and in walking learns. You fear that surrender means loss, but surrender in me is where you find yourself again. You are drained when you cling, but filled when you release. You are lonely when you build walls, but embraced when you open the door. You are bound when you grasp for control, but free when you place the reins in my hands. I do not turn you into a puppet. I make you a companion. I do not silence your voice. I give you words that breathe life. I do not erase your personality. I liberate it from fear and self-defense. In me, you become the truest and most beautiful version of yourself. Gentle, yet strong, humble, yet steadfast, quiet, yet full of life. I know you still live in a loud world where darkness amplifies its voice, where pride is celebrated and honesty mocked. But do not fear. The light in you is not so easily extinguished. It is sustained by the breath of my spirit. It does not depend on praise or approval. Every morning when you open your eyes and whisper, "Lord, I am here," the flame is fed. Every time you pause in the rush to ask, "What is your will?" another log is placed on the fire. Every time you choose gentleness over harshness, slow speech over anger, kindness over coldness, the sacred fire rises within your chest. The room where you stand becomes a temple, and you, unseen by the world, are doing a great work for heaven. When I speak of eternal union, do not imagine a distant destination. It is a way of living whose breath is prayer, whose hands are service, whose feet are faithfulness, whose eyes are compassion. This way of life does not need a stage to shine. It needs a heart that remains. You carry heaven into the marketplace when you answer with kindness. You carry eternity to the dinner table when you speak a word of gratitude. You bring light into a meeting through your integrity. You plant eternal seeds in your small courtyard when you choose forgiveness. My child, union does not hang in the clouds. It walks in dusty sandals, cooks meals, washes clothes, writes healing messages, takes a trembling hand in silence, and says, "I am here." I know you grow tired at times. Even the one who carries the lamp needs rest. But do not rest apart from me. Rest in me. When you lay your head upon my chest, you will hear the heartbeat of eternity. Its rhythm will soothe you and remind you that you are not meant to save the world I already have. Your part is to abide, to trust, and to love. When you feel like giving up, remember the seed does not sprout in the storm, it grows by remaining in the soil. Do not measure my work by your emotions. I often do my greatest works in silence. Do not measure your worth by your performance. Your worth was sealed at the cross. Do not measure your journey by another's map. I lead you on your own path, shorter when you fear, longer when you rush, more winding when you grow proud, straighter when you are ready. A day will come when the trumpet sounds, the thin veil between the temporary and the eternal tears like paper, and unending light floods in. I will call your name not as a summons, but as a homecoming. You will not step into a foreign land. You will step onto the familiar porch of home, where the fragrance of love has never faded. You will marvel to see that every step, trembling or steady, led you here. You will understand why I waited, why I corrected, why I said not yet, because I wanted you to arrive without losing yourself on the way. And then every question will dissolve like mist, and only one truth will remain: my love never fails. This way of life does not need a stage to shine. It needs a heart that remains. You carry heaven into the marketplace when you answer with kindness. You carry eternity to the dinner table when you speak a word of gratitude. You bring light into a meeting through your integrity. You plant eternal seeds in your small courtyard when you choose forgiveness. When you worship together, the light multiplies. When you pray together, darkness retreats quickly. When you lift one another up, chains fall off as lightly as dry leaves. I place upon your head the crown of grace, not for you to rule with power, but to serve with love. I clothe you with the mantle of praise, not so you may stand before people, but so you may stand before the darkness and sing. The darkness hates that song, yet it cannot silence one who knows they are loved. Into your hands I place the staff of faith, not for knocking on others' doors, but for breaking the invisible chains that bind your thoughts. Sin no longer commands you. Fear no longer governs you. Shame no longer dictates your steps. You are free because I am free. You live because I live. You love because I love. If one day you find the light within you growing dim, do not panic. A single ember is enough for the dawn. Come near me, that I may breathe upon it. Open my word that I may kindle it. Find a brother or sister to tend the flame with you. There is no shame in asking for help, only danger in being alone. And do not despise small beginnings. A forest begins with a sprout. I work in seasons, and in every season I am good. When you are in me, even time becomes your companion. Yesterday teaches gratitude. Today invites faithfulness. Tomorrow calls you to hope. Time is no longer a thief. It becomes a builder of eternity within you. And now hear the final word for today. As a sealed promise, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. Whoever abides in me will not be captured by darkness. You no longer need to fear the way home. That way is within you because I am within you. Walk not in haste, but in trust. Love not with calculation, but with sincerity. Live not behind a mask, but in truth. Everything else will find its rightful place when you put me first. And when night falls, you may close your eyes in peace, for eternal union has already begun in this very breath. My child, I wait for you, not with a whip, but with open arms, not with a scorecard, but with a table already prepared, not with a stern gaze, but with eyes overflowing with joy. When you come, heaven sings. When you remain, peace blossoms. When you are sent, the light spreads. This is the rhythm of eternity. Remember, you do not merely carry your story, you carry mine. And my story, my child, always ends in life. Thank you for listening to today's message. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so we may continue receiving the living word together, strengthening our faith and walking daily in the boundless love of the Lord. Amen.